right, this is the Crow Show. My name is Crowjo, and I'm also known as Coach T. And I was a teacher a long time ago, and I had a person ask me on Facebook about why I feel the woke leaders failed Los Angeles for many reasons. Jeez. One, Mayor Bass was in Africa. She cut $26 million out of the fire department, and there's no drones. There's no water pump ships nearby. You know, there were houses that burned up that were right next to the ocean. I mean, how is that even possible? I mean, if I were a homeowner, I would have a giant water pump nearby to pump water from the ocean in. We were going to have a desalination plant. We would have had tons of water come in, but because of fish, that wasn't allowed. It was the same thing with the giant reservoirs up in Northern California. Our governor, Gavin Newsom, said no to millions and millions of gallons of water to come down to Southern California, but he was concerned about the Delta smelt fish. So all that water went into the ocean, and we always seem to have a water shortage. The perfect storm happened, and like I said, Mayor Bass was in Africa. She had cut the fire department. Gavin Newsom had cut funding also for fire departments because he wanted to concentrate on DEI, equity, and inclusion. DEI, hiring, DEI was the big thing where they spent all the money. The DWP CEO, Quinones, she was in charge. This woman makes $750,000 a year, and she, for 11 months, did not fill up the Palisades water reservoir due to a damaged, I guess, canvas awning that could have been fixed in like a week. And it went on for 11 months. It probably went on longer. But the fires, I don't know where it stands now, but it went on for 11 months. It should have been repaired probably about a year ago. But then again, her main thing was, when I listened to her interview, it was all about equity, inclusion, diversity, and nothing about water containment, knowing what to do with water, the importance of water in a fire. It was the lens of equity. So that really turned me off to woke progressives. Also, the fire department only sent out I think maybe 9 trucks instead of their full force. They have 40, but they didn't send them all out. And then they actually didn't want the entire staff out there because they didn't have the budget for it. So they went in understaffed, no water, not enough trucks, and the whole place burned. And with the winds doing 100 miles an hour, the temperatures got blazing hot to where it was melting stuff that usually wouldn't burn, but did. Now, the other problem is the police patrol with the homeless encampments. They never cleared the homeless encampments. They caught Escobar, a 39-year-old illegal immigrant from Mexico, and he was caught with a blowtorch starting fires. And a lot of people up in the mountains do drugs, drink, and or on the run, and they need to start fires to stay warm or cook. Or if they're doing drugs, sometimes you have to use fire to heat it up and inject yourself. But that created this massive fire here in Los Angeles. The lack of water, the cuts from the fire department, leadership of the woke progressives who don't believe in clear cutting, more concerned about fish than American citizens. And we had a massive water shortage. And the worst thing of all was your house burning when there's water only 100 feet away in the ocean. But the one thing about people that are super rich that live next to the ocean, the government rebuilds their house for free. Isn't that great? What about the rest of us? But that caused me to reevaluate the leadership. I think we need massive redoing of leadership here in California if we can. Right now, the legislature in Sacramento gives a person who comes from another country who came in here illegally, just walked in, they get $1,200 a month. They get free housing. They get free medical. They get driver's licenses. They drive them to the DMV and set up driver's licenses, voter registration, free medical, all at taxpayer expense. Well, homeless Americans that I see aren't getting the services needed. I see homeless Americans in San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, all living on the streets, barely hanging on. But then the NGOs, when I was down in TJ and in Humba, California, I would watch the NGO buses, these private companies that would pick up these people. They never checked ID, terrorist status. They didn't have facial recognition. They didn't check for disease. Just loaded them up on a bus. Like if somebody had TB, it would be a giant incubator. And terrorists, bomb makers, that they never check. They just load you on a bus, take you to the Four Seasons Hotel. It's a refurbished hotel over by the 15 and the 8. And they do all the processing to make them, fast track them to be an American citizen as fast as possible so they can vote in the next election. That's the bottom line of it. And that's what's happening here in California. Crime is off the hook. The Democrats just recently voted against passing deporting illegals that are convicted child rapists or rapists in general. That turned me off to woke progressivism. There's over 340,000 children, migrants, missing, probably locked into child sex slavery or labor slavery. The cartels run a very strict ship. They send their cartel members in the mix with the migrants coming over. If you don't pay your cartel bill, they hunt you down. What they do in San Diego is they kill you with fentanyl. They don't want to be tracked or caught. People that OD on fentanyl, they never suspect that it's the cartel. That's what the homeless people tell me there. I've seen massive drugs dropped in Humba, California. There's tunnels. There's huge drops. They don't even use the tunnels in some cases. They take these huge lifts and they just drop a huge load of drugs on one side, loaded up in a truck in the middle of the day sometimes. But that was during the Biden administration, and that's another reason why there's probably, I'm guessing, not guessing, about close to 400,000 people have died from China fentanyl here in the United States since Biden had open borders in Mayorkas. The other reason is Laken Riley was murdered. She fought for 18 minutes to Ibira, who was an illegal, who already committed crimes, was never deported, was given money to travel throughout the United States for free, and killed this woman who was just finishing nursing school and had a promising life and career of helping others, and she was brutally murdered. Her head was caved in, and she fought for 18 minutes. So the woke judges that allowed this, Homeland Security with Mayorkas, Joe Biden, all those people, they have blood on their hands. In terms of lawfare, that was another big turnoff for me, seeing Trump go through these fake criminal proceedings. Nobody else could have survived that except Trump. We don't have the money and the wherewithal that Donald Trump has, but he destroyed it all and exposed it all. So I'm thankful that the Republicans are taking over, because what I see in California, I don't want to have happen in anywhere else in the United States. We have people that are trained terrorists. We have cartel. We have people that are coming out of prisons that are so dangerous that they shouldn't even be around people. How do I know this? It's because I go out and I try to help people that are addicted to drugs, and I go out to the worst areas of Los Angeles, San Diego, the border, fake families. I see a lot of that with the NGO buses. they have a child that goes with the family that they're not related. They're just used as sex slavery. And the wasting of money here in California. The EDD during COVID, billions of dollars were lost. People were scamming from North Korea. North Korea pretty much bought their missile system through Gavin Newsom because they scammed all the unemployment stuff. Criminals were getting money. There was no checks and balances. So it's the same thing with the fire as it is with education, as it is with unemployment checks, to how it is with law enforcement. It's just woke progressives are just not the way to go as far as I can see. In California right now, with all the damage and how broke we are with the massive spending, they're spending $50 million to stop Trump from deporting people that are child rapists, like I just said, because they don't want his policies. They don't want to deport people. It's all about the voter bloc to keep California blue. And it's been blue for a very long time. I miss the Kennedys, the Democrats. I don't miss the Obama or the Biden Democrats. They've gone too far to the left to where, a criminal is a victim. Child rapist is now a victim. You have to refer to a child rapist as a minor attracted adult instead of pedophile. They lie to your face. The media slants the truth. The legacy media is dead here. I would never trust or believe anything they say. In terms of censorship, it's massive. When I was working at Culver City Unified, I was censored because I said Black Lives Matter is a communist organization that extorts money to people, is anti-Semitic. And of course, I was right. They celebrated October 7th saying that Hamas were heroes for kidnapping and murdering 1,400 Israelis. And that still goes on. I still see Black Lives Matter in Culver City Unified. I see communist murals at the school district that shouldn't be there. Angela Davis is one of them. And then they have in classrooms, Che Guevara, people that just have no business being on a mural or poster because they've murdered innocent people. In fact, with Black Lives Matter, with all the chaos that was going on in LA, I was attacked twice by that group. And once on campus, and I remember the special ed coordinator say, "Oh, you're hurting people by speaking out against Black Lives Matter." And I said, "No, I'm not. They're an evil group. They should never be on campus. They teach division, racism, and tribalism." And she tried to get me fired, and I fought back, and it wasn't easy because I would go in and they would try to do the cancel moves, and I fought back and won. But how many people are going to fight back like that? I don't know of too many teachers that would risk losing their jobs to whatever they've tried to do. And the goal is during that time was obey, shut up, or watch out. So I would speak out at the district meetings that would criticize Culver City Police Department. They were saying that Culver City Police Department was racist and evil and unfair and targeted black kids. And I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind? Being a cop is tough because you got to go into the worst situations. People are going to call you racist for whatever the F for, and do their jobs. I mean, who are you going to call during a school shooting? You're going to call the librarian? School security, no one has guns. We had 2 close school shootings in Culver City. I worked with the emotionally disturbed, so I knew each student well. And Culver City PD was right on point. When we called, they showed up. They stopped the kid from even accessing weapons or even getting him to where he could get to the house. That's how good they are. So God bless the Culver City Police. They don't deserve that crap. What happened to Floyd was horrible, but you need to know everything about the Floyd case. And that's why I'll develop a link on it. But Floyd swallowed a whole bunch of fentanyl in his first arrest, And during the second arrest, where you saw the video where the cop was on his neck and stuff. Now, if you watch the video closely and you do stop action, Floyd's swallowing fentanyl pills again, because every time the cops would pull him over, he would throw them in his mouth, and he damaged his heart, his lungs, his kidneys. Fentanyl's nasty. I don't even know how he did it. The first time he did it, he swallowed a whole bunch of fentanyl. It just destroys your body. It's so lethal. And on the second time, when he was yelling to get out of the car, he starts saying he doesn't want to get out, and then he said he felt sick. But when he opened his mouth, you can see the pill. You can see it. He was doing the same thing he did during the first arrest. But I don't like that. I just want the whole truth. And they don't give you the whole truth. COVID wasn't truthful. They censored us about natural immunity. The origin, they lied about that. Pronouns. I mean, I caught a guy groping students. I was the seventh teacher to turn this guy in. And I said, "You have a pedophile that you put in my class. I need him out of here." I went to the police, and the police told me that you won't allow them on campus because they're racist. So the police told me the administrators have to do the investigation, and they did nothing. They never asked me again. I filled out the paperwork. They never talked to me ever again. The guy was moved out of my class into another classroom. So you wonder why I had anger issues when I was working there. In terms of the white privilege crap, I had teachers, white supremacy in the classroom, what to do about it by this one organization of BLMers that were posting inside the school district emails, and I was offended by it, so I fought back and said, "You know what? That is racism," and I got pulled in for it because I said, you're it's called tribalism. You say, "See that white kid or that white teacher over there? All your problems are caused by those guys," and I'm like, that's what Mao did. That's what Hitler did with the Jews. You do propaganda movies, you do propaganda educators, you do propaganda music. And pretty soon, tell the lie long enough, the masses will believe. And that's what I saw in Culver City Unified. And they were shocked that I would stand up and post in a large district meeting, when they start talking about Black Lives Matter. And but then, "Oh, you're a racist," kind of thing because you speak out. I was fed up. They promoted George Gascon. My teachers union supported George Gascon, who doesn't believe in arresting child rapists. Prisons should be torn down. Jails should be turned down. Criminals are victims. That's what my teachers union was promoting through the interdistrict mail. But that's pretty much the poison that they were teaching children about anti-Americanism. Comes from the colleges. Postmodernist neo-Marxists are the ones that are promoting this. And then the teachers that come out of the universities promote that to the public schools. That's the George Soros approach and Joe Biden approach to how they want to divide this country. And you do it through tribalism. Mao did it. Hitler did it. Stalin did it. Che Guevara did it. And it all involved around telling a lie, tell the lie long enough, divide us by skin color or political reasons, and divide and conquer. And the one thing great is Elon Musk bought Twitter to where we can express ourselves. I was censored on all media. I'm a nobody. Why would you censor me? I mean, I have very few followers, and yet every election cycle I would be barred. And it's ridiculous. Let's see what else. But I guess that's where I stand, Steve. You don't understand me, and I don't think you ever will. I believe in fairness. I believe that if you're the best pilot to land the plane, if you get 100% on the test, that's who should be flying the plane, not equity and diversity or whatever. It's whoever's the best for the job. You go colorblind. I don't see America as racist. I see woke progressivism using racism to divide and conquer so they can have a one-party system. I do see that. And leave your comments below if you like or dislike. Like I said, I've got really thick skin. So anyway, Crowjo out.